TC Spiritual Shepherd, welcome back, guys. Today we are going to get into a master key system, disappearing and reappearing, and the lifestyle of the hero's journey. So the hero's journey is a journey that every single person, every single being that is watching this is on, regardless if they are conscious or comprehending that they are on it or not. So pretty much I've gotten to the point where any type of movie that we watch as a society, I can almost even name some of those, hooks. Or shows or whatever. This is just a preface too, but to preface it, you could see the ending before it happens. You could see a lot of these things before it happens, and it's generally because you've seen the patterns, you've recognized the patterns. So a lot of this on your own life, in your own life, on your own lifestyles, okay? A lot of this that you guys are living simultaneous with me is the hero's journey. So you'll have these types of mishaps, you'll have these types of speed bumps, and then those same types of things will lead to the success. It will lead to the riches. It will lead to the wealth. And so the master key system of this is recognizing it, tapping into that, consciously tapping into the hero's journey. It is connected to the tarot. It is connected to Kabbalah if you guys are interested in those types of things. I'm not going to get into too much of that. But ultimately, guys, the master key system of tapping into the hero's journey, you have to see, what calls am I refusing? What calls am I refusing? So one of the very first things in the hero's journey is the refusal of the call. Okay, so you have a call to adventure. You have a call of your conscience. So it's like, wake up early. Wake up early. You need to answer the wake up call of your conscience. Check out that video. You guys need to, you need to pick this up. You need to start getting fit. Oh, you need to go on carnivore. Oh, you need to start getting fit. Oh, you need to start that business. Oh, you need to start generating wealth. Oh, you need to start caring about your family. Oh, you need to start caring about your relationship. Oh, you need to start fill in the blank. Okay. So that is life calling you. That is the call to adventure, a call to action. Okay, and you will receive a call to adventure and a call to action. And it's not necessarily always like an adventure, like I'm going on an adventure. Like it's not like that type of vibe from Bilbo Baggins, okay? Sometimes it's bagging on you. So I want you guys to understand that. Then you are going to meet somebody like me, a mentor. You're going to meet somebody like me. So you're going to be like, you know what? I want to be a better martial artist. I want to be, I want to learn about breath work. I want to, be able to do healing work. I want to be, whatever. Okay. I want to be a teacher. That's always a great one because that's kind of a grand scope thing. So who would I study versus who somebody else might study? I would study Tony Robbins. I would study Jay Shetty. I would study Ed Milet. I would study all these different types of teachers, okay, who I would say is a teacher or a mentor for me. But martial arts, I would study, like Master Shi Hung Yi. I would study Master Montauk Chi. I would study different types of people who are into Chi and Tai Chi or into yoga or breathwork. Breathwork, I would study Shayna Dean, and I would study Ellie Tom Elamine, and I would study Ray Moore, and I would study these types of people. These are the types of references that I would have for breathwork or breatharian or liquidarian or those types of modalities. Okay, so you're meeting the mentor. You guys get the gist. And you want to meet a mentor that is significantly ahead of you, but where you want to be. Stop picking up the phone. Stop picking up the phone to people who have less of a status or less of a thing that you want to be. Okay, so like you're not going to be like, hey, how do I make $10 million? And you're not going to ask somebody who makes $50,000. You're just not. You're not going to do that. You need to stop seeking someone else's validation or other people's validation that are not on the level that you're going to or not on your level. So either your level right now, so if you deem your level spiritually discerning, okay, then you need to stay on that level, and anything below that, you just don't even listen to them, okay? And then you only listen to people above you that you think are above you in a hierarchy. Everyone is genuinely the same. But I want you guys to actually understand that by recognizing that you are the same at 50,000 and someone else is the same at 50 million, what are the things that they're doing differently? Because you could do the same thing because they're doing it. Okay? So you have to start to see, what can I change here in the now? How can I value my time more? How can I value my energy more? How can I value my attention more? How can I value myself more? How can I cultivate wealth generation more? What kind of teams and systems do I need to build? Okay, then you cross that threshold. You start listening to Shifu. You start listening to Tony Robbins. You start listening to masters and mentors, and you follow through. Okay, you'll go through trials. You'll go through tribulations. You'll go through speed bumps. You'll go through different types of things. So I don't want to have these things go too long. Maybe I'll edit this, but ultimately I've had a multitude of things in the financial market. So I joined this company. Not even going to say it. Joined this company. I spent over $2,000 on a multitude of things. Lack of respect, lack of ethics, lack of morals, lack of empathy. A multitudes of things came from these types of people. And the funny thing is, I've known them a lot of times in my life. Throughout my life, for a long period of time in my life. I have no problems, generally with a lot of the other people in the company, but I did have a problem with a couple of ethical principles, generally. But ultimately, those are some of the trials and tribulations that I faced when I was like, I'm going to cultivate wealth. I'm going to cultivate riches. I'm going to cultivate, financial solitude, financial independency, being a digital nomad, being a rich minimalist. Cultivating these types of lifestyles is going to have some speed bumps. It's going to have some speed bumps where you're like, all right, so those are some of the failures, the trials, the tribulations that I had transmuted into lessons, and then lessons into lessons learned. And now I'm with a company called Akashics. Akashics, is a powerful thing. It's tap to trade, so you can just approve, boom, or it has trade alerts, multitudes of things. So this generally helps me so much. Okay, so much, and it's super powerful. Already making profit. Okay, in the other company, I was there for a year, and I personally knew them. Okay, then I went here. I didn't know anybody, and already receiving profits, already starting to cultivate things, already starting to move the ball forward, already starting to move the needle forward, okay? Exponentially. It's a powerful thing, okay? So, and then not only that, there were other lessons in my life like, oh, these things are canceled. These things don't exist anymore. These things stopped working. And I'm not even giving it the justice or the power that it really deserves, because I wouldn't even say power, but I want you guys to understand that there were just different things in my life that I thought were more certainties, where there were more lessons and there were more speed bumps, and these are big things that I'm starting to realize. Okay, I thought that these things were canceled and these things were this and this was this. Then I find out, even if it's just a few months later or a year later, it's the perseverance, the consistency. You showed up for yourself. You consistently showed up for yourself, TC. Consistently showed up for yourself, TC. Consistently showed up for yourself, TC. And you just keep going. Okay? And as I kept doing that, there were things this I feel right now. Okay? That's why stoicism and philosophy is important. But, I think right now that this is, a shitty experience. I feel like this is a terrible experience. That's what I thought, okay? But then now I'm thinking no, these are just lessons learned, because now I'm starting to see that because I persevered and I said, you know what? It doesn't matter if that thing was canceled. It doesn't matter if this thing was canceled, this thing stopped, if this was this way, this was this way, because now the this way is empowered. It's powerful in such a great way, in such a empowered way, that I transmuted, speed bumps, and I transmuted negativity, and I used that negativity and I used it as fuel for positivity. And now those things aren't canceled. They are just reborn and into more simplification. more to answered prayers, and more to manifestations, and more to intention, and more to simplification. And you guys understand or overstand. You guys comprehend that my mentality and my minimalist mentality, my simplified mentality is a powerful thing. And so when I can build teams and systems that are simplified and minimalist, I mean, honestly, like business now, it's thank you. I found the company that I'm working with. I am so happy with them. They are amazing. Okay, they're my team, so they're my full team. They run every type of thing that I don't run. Okay, and then systems. They run They run 5-10 different systems that literally generate money for my business. So that is a great cultivation. Simplified, easy. I just get a text to my phone. And then that's the same thing with, I have teams and systems for trading. I have teams and systems for real estate. I have teams and systems for a multitude of things. Is this a flex? No. But I'm saying that before all this stuff is gotten to, now in the mastery of two worlds, which is, the returns change, you get your return of investment. You are going to go through a lot of speed bumps. You're going to go through a death and rebirth. You're going to go through the revelation. You're going to go through the wow. See, and that's like a lot of the thing. I'm like, there's a revelation at the end of it. There's a grand surprise of positivity at the end of it. Okay. Final changes, atonement. So forgiveness. A big thing too is like forgiving old past relationships, forgiving old friendships, forgiving old people. A big thing in success, a big key and a master key in success is that you are going to have people who will hit you up. This is actually a big thing in my life. A big thing in my life, because I don't really do anybody wrong. Generally, I speak my mind, and I'll just be like, like I felt like this, if we were more transparent and more authentic and original, then we would avoid these types of things. But generally there was always masks and faces and all this type of stuff. And I think too, like projections and emotionality and those types of things come into relationships. And I think just being the most authentic in your relationships, whether it's it's your immediate relationship or your friendships or your family, it's the best. Okay, because I know that not everybody has my spiritual Christianity vibe, okay? But does that mean that I'm going against your Christianity vibe? No, it doesn't mean that. And actually, I'm going to defend you, and I will be there for you, and I will be that brother to you. And I think that by thinking that everybody's going to believe the same is a very closed-minded thing. Be open-minded in the way that, like, well, I'm not always right. And it's about checking your own ego, where it's just like, I'm going to not come at somebody else because they just have different neurotransmitters, different emotions, different mindsets that are interconnected with their spiritual walk, their hero's journey, and their physicality and their life that they've lived, and the lessons that they've learned, and the things that they're still learning. Okay, and so to think that they're wrong, are they? No, they're right in their own. They're right in their own regard. That is like one of my favorite quotes. They're right in their own regard. I am right in my own regard. We are right in our own regards. To some degree, we are right in our own regards because of the consciousness experience. Because you are living first person, first player. Okay, and so to tell somebody else how they're living their life, like, very interesting. I know that I'm kind of being sporadic, but there are so many different growth skills on the hero's journey, from going to the normal to the unknown. But a lot of what we could do is just say, from my perspective, from my point of view, the way I see it. That's all you have to say, and then state whatever the hell you want to say. Because a lot of times we don't have that, and then we speak for other people. And that is a genuine problem. Because a true person doesn't have to speak for somebody, but is okay openly speaking for themselves authentically and originally. That is what true power is. That's what true empowerment is. Okay, it's not always like having to control other people. The best life is when you don't necessarily need to care about what other people are doing. Okay, it's because they're not living to try to affect you. Like, so many people are so self-absorbed. Like, so many people are so self-absorbed that living for self is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that living too self-absorbed in the negative manner. Okay? I'm saying capital S, self-absorbed, not lowercase s, self-absorbed. Lowercase s is self-sabotage, selfish sabotage. And then selfless self-care is the positive capital S. I'm going to be getting into these videos and the spiritual fruits of the Spirit, just so you know. Okay, so the hero's journey. There's this lesson. I was with, a client and this person was just like, this is what it is. That's the problem. That's the problem. And oh no, it was that cheesecake. So there's this person coming in, and I had like other bystanders, other people right next to me, witnesses next to me, and I was like, I don't vote. Okay, I don't mind if you vote or don't vote, but I was like, I don't vote. And I had this person say, that's the problem right there. That's the problem. And it's like there was no inner genuine accountability. I took accountability for what I believe, from I'm right in my regard, from my perspective. The solution is to stop paying the man. The solution is to stop watching the game. In the Hunger Games, you stop watching and they don't have a game. You stop participating and they don't have a game. You stop showing up to their stupid bullshit matrix and they don't have a matrix. And I know that sounds so crazy, but it's with enough people. And so the people who generally will do it like the way that I'm doing it, they will not pay attention to the way that they're cultivating it until it happens. Until on the grand scheme of it happens. Until there's a riot. Until there's a change. Okay, but ultimately, I was like, in my head, this is stoicism, and this is true lifestyle that I truly embody what I say. Okay, so this person's like, that's the problem. That's the problem. So that is a reaction, and that's an emotion. Okay, and I'm not saying any of those are the emotions bad. Okay, I'm saying that's validated. From your point of view, that's a valid point. Okay, from my point of view, I was stoic. I was like this. And in my head, I was thinking, that's yours, and that's your problem with me. Or that's what you think my problem is. So from your perspective, so she was like, that's the problem. And then from my mindset, it was, no, from your perspective, that's what the problem is. From your perspective. And then you start to actually see that person's just an ego. Because there's 8 billion other people who are not going to agree with this woman. Okay, and I wasn't even being mean. And so at that perspective, I go, in my head, from your perspective, that's what you think the problem is. That's what you think the problem is. That's what you feel the problem is from your perspective. And then the way that I responded, okay, so she said, that's the problem. That's the problem. So then my actual response, what came out of my mouth, which is a response, not a reaction, and it's stoicism, not an emotion, okay? So my response was, I believe, so from my perspective, I believe that's my solution. I believe that's my solution. So I never spoke for her, but she spoke for me. She spoke with emotion. She spoke with reaction. I spoke with stoicism. I spoke with the response. I spoke with genuinely, conscientiously giving a response. That is the difference, okay? That makes a difference. And a lot of the reactions and the bystanders and the witnesses had mentioned, people who are stuck in their ways, people who are, you genuinely cannot sway their minds. And that's why I was already in the point where I was just like, all right, but you see these things all the time. You see these things in restaurants. You see these things in public. You see these things at works, at businesses. All these different types of things happen. You see these things, in a multitude of customers and all these things. Okay? So to conclude this is like responding stoically, being the hero of your life. Show up as player one of your life. Stop always heeding somebody else's, like, I could have chose to believe her if I was weaker in my empowerment. If they got what they fucking wanted, if the societal matrix got what they wanted, I would be a weakling and I would just fucking take that shit. I would be a fucking doormat to that bitch. I would literally be a doormat. Because I would be like, oh yeah, of course I'm the problem. And then what would I probably do? I'd probably self-sabotage and I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm the problem. So that's the problem. That's what I believe the problem was. And so then from that perspective, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when I was like, that's the problem. I need to start taking more accountability. I need to show up for yourself. The last 2 years, I literally just took everything upon myself. Every single thing. I was like, like my parents would text me or my friends would text me or my old friends would text me. I'd just be like, that's my fault. That's my fucking fault. I fucked up. That's my fault. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. And then that would bring like so much more accountability and responsibility into my life. And now, okay, if it's your fault when you're right, if it's your fault when you're wrong, and you believe you're wrong and you believe it's your fault, then it's also your fault when you're right. And that's your responsibility too. So you had the ability to respond in a righteous manner, to be right. Still working on my cussing, okay? Give me a break. I'm giving myself a break. I'm still working. I've been doing a lot better on the grand scale of things. Now, but ultimately it's by showing up and being, right. It's by living right, okay? And so that is a big thing that I've really cultivated where, especially in the hero's journey, it's like you're going to be like the call to action, stop cussing. You need to stop cussing. You need to stop vaping. You need to stop drinking. You need to stop doing this, that's it, whatever it is. And then if you pick up that, you could pick up that call. And some people pick up the phone, hang it up, pick it up, hang it up, pick it up, hang it up, pick it up, hang it up. And it's just like, just don't answer it. Just don't answer it if it's a negative one and always pick it up if it's a positive, okay? Now, the cultivation of this, guys, the cultivation is the empowerment and the transformation, the transmutation of negative into positive, turning negative into fuel into positive, okay? So you get that call you get the call to action. You might refuse the call, which is what a lot of people do, and they continuously always pick up the phone, but they don't answer it. So like, why do you think I'm not texting you back like old friends? Why do you think I'm not hitting you up? It's not that I don't care about you. It's not that I don't think about you. It's not that I don't miss you. It's not that I don't love you. It's not that I don't care about you. It's that generally I am not going to go back to the places that you're presently in, because I've seen your stories, because I've seen your places that you're going. I've seen the experiences and the frequencies that you're living, which is what you frequently see, which is where you frequent. I've been thinking about the places that I frequent are the people that I see. I decide I'm living decent. What does it mean to be a G? Huh? Mac Miller, rest in peace. So ultimately, what does it mean? Like we need to really start to think like, okay, so if I do refriend this person and I do go back, I haven't seen them in a year or 2 years. First of all, do you know me? Do you know who I am? Okay, that's what the disappearing and the reappearing is all about. You got to disappear as the hero. You got to disappear and reappear as the hero. And there's going to be a time where you're going to have every single person doubt you, including yourself. That's why I said every single person, because if you doubt yourself, why the fuck should your significant other still not doubt you? The whole purpose is that you have things that are overflowing cups. You have overlaying emotions. So that means that she's trusted you or he's trusted you 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 5 months ago, 2 weeks ago. And so that's going to overlap and overflow. So the time where she might be doubting you, okay, where she'll shoot out a test or whatever, you pass the test where you're like, babe, I got this, babe. And man or woman, where you're like, I can handle it. I can handle it because you've seen me handle all these things. You've seen me handle that thing with that financial company. You've seen me handle this thing with, these stocks and all these stuff like 50 times. Like literally went through 3 mishaps there, 3 mishaps, speed bumps there, 3 speed bumps here, 5 speed bumps here. Okay, but now it's smooth sailing. It's smooth road. Okay, now it's a beautiful view because we've climbed to now we're at the top of the mountain. Okay, now we're at the success. Now we're overlaying and overseeing the valley. Okay, now we're in the skyscraper. We're chilling. Okay, our minds are peaked. Our minds are in the skies. That there's like so many different correlations of this. What is this? You're breathing cleaner air. You have better prana. You have better chi. You have a better view. Okay, so now you can see all. Oh, that was just a little speed bump. Oh, I can't even see the speed bump from here. So that's the type of mindset, guys. On the hero's journey, where you are going to see a multitude of things, guys. You're going to see all these different things pop up, and it's how you choose to respond to them. It's how you choose to continuously respond to them. You cannot control everything, but you can control how you respond to everything. You can't control everything, but you can control how you respond to everything. So I feel like that's just like a divine, connection, a divine synchronicity, because obviously everything's happening in the happening of the timing, okay, of the now, of the here and the now and the present. The present moment's a present. It's a gift. Now, as you start to realize that you are in control of the response to everything, then you will start to operate in a better response manner rather than how you think and how you feel, because that's ego. You would start to respond beyond thought and beyond emotion. Some people might over spiritualize this, where it's very easy. It's just, what do you think? If you think about being like, nah, this, like in those reactions, or that, in the company, like in the company that I used to work with, I could have been like, oh, da 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 da, and I did it one time. I actually gave a response. I was like, you know what? I feel like these are unethical principles. These are these things. These are these things. You guys make false promises, all these type of stuff, and then whatever. Now I go here. I'm living lavish. I'm living positive. So I know that I just transmuted that, and I turned that into, positivity. And now I'm with people who value my time, who actually see me deeper, who are more open, more authentic, more original. I'm on the grand scale of things. I'm on the, just so many powerful things that are aligning. And this alignment comes from, being internally aligned to my true hero, to player one. I'm not looking to somebody else as my hero, where I used to do that. I used to be like, oh, I'm Superman. I'm the Superman of my life. I'm going to be the Superman to my kids. And then not only that, but I'm going to teach my son and my daughter to be the Superman of their lives. See, and that's the difference between, that's the difference. It's like, you don't just look to me to consistently like save you. Okay. Where you can, but then it's also like, are you heeding how I'm living? And then you mimic how I'm living, and then you could just genuinely do that. But a lot of stoicism is happening in the implication of life, in the shadow of life, in the unseen realms. Okay. So implying something is a very important thing. So by implying wealth, by implying fitness, by implying richness, by implying, that is a very powerful thing in the law of assumption. Okay, so imply you're the hero. Imply you're the first person. And now in the hero, let's conclude this, guys. In the hero's journey, you are going to have this time in your life where you will start to see that everything is... Okay, so you had all these bumps, you had all these things, and now you're going to see that everything's working out. This is literally a sign that you've persevered, that you've pushed through, that it literally took me 2 years, but some people are not even willing to put in 2 months of persistence, because they'll be like, 2 weeks in, persistence sucks, but people will think it's an overnight success. It's an overnight success. Okay? And it's not, okay? It takes years to be an overnight success. Okay. And that also is, it's years of persistence and consistency in saying, I'm going to just continuously go, just continuously evolve, continuously grow, continuously be better, continuously evolve. Okay. And they're only going to continuously see you evolve. That's all they're going to want to, people will see what they want to see. People will perceive what they want to perceive. People will see from their perspective and the way that their perspective and perception is. Okay, and so it's important that it's not necessarily that you try to go off of how perceive you because that's in their power, which is what? Not stoicism. You show up how you show up, and then you show up in the right divine alignment rather than try to show up for somebody else's alignment when you can't even control how they're going to perceive you emotionally, mentally, physically, psychologically, financially, whatever. So that's pretty much it, guys. Be the hero of your life. Hero's journey is a very powerful thing, guys. You know, pick up the call of your conscience. Don't refuse the call. Don't refuse the call. Drop your vices, okay? Also, you're going to go into places, you're going to go into things that you're going to be unknown, like, oh, I've never studied this. Find somebody who has studied it. Find a mentor. Okay, now I've literally discovered so many powerful things in my life. Now I know credit. Now I know business. Now I know stocks. Now I know mentors. Now I know real estate. Because what? I just wasn't afraid to pick up the fucking phone. I just wasn't afraid to answer the call. I wasn't afraid. And I was just like, and even if I was afraid, I was brave enough to go beyond the fear. And I was just like, I'm just going to figure this out because I know at the end I've seen if I just push through, I keep pushing through, success is just going to be an inheritance part of my life. It's going to be nonchalant. It's going to be so easy because I've pushed through the, like David Goggins said, continuously push through the suffering until it becomes super easy. And then what? Life is easy. Peace, much love. Namaste. Talk to you guys soon. See you in the next one.